Hi, Helen from crystalsandcrochet.com here. Welcome to part 2 of the Faith Crochet Along. Okay, we are going to work around and make our piece square this time. Okay, so there appears to be quite a lot in it, but I think you will all manage to do this in 1 week, no problem. Please make sure you download the US terms photo tutorial to go along with the video, particularly for things like stitch counts, because I don't give detailed stitch counts in the videos. So make sure that you've got that as well to double check all of your stitch counts, because it is important that you follow the hints in the pattern and the stitch counts. Okay, let's get started. Round 23. Okay, before we start this round, there's a hint that says that the stitch counts are now given per side. Okay, so we are going to join with a beginning 2 treble cluster in the 12th stitch of any shell. Okay, so that's our first stitch there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's number 12. So let me just pop a marker in there. 2 treble cluster. Okay, so with a beginning one, if you're working with the same colour, you're going to chain 3 for your first partial treble. If you're following the yarn packs and you're starting with a new colour, yarn over twice as if you're going to make a standing treble, and make sure that you hold that firmly. Into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. You've got 2 loops left on your hook. Okay, so we've done a partial treble. So again, yarn over twice into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, 3 loops there, yarn over and through all 3 loops. Okay, so that's our beginning 2 treble cluster. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to mark that space. Okay, that's our corner space. Then we're going to 2 treble cluster in the next stitch, chain 1 and skip the next stitch, and we're going to do that 5 times. Okay, so again, yarn over twice into the next stitch, pull up your loop and through 2 twice, yarn over twice into the stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over through 2 twice, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 treble cluster. Okay, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and we're going to do that 5 times. Okay, so 5 times, 2 treble cluster, chain 1, skip the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 times. So we've got a chain 1 here, and I'm skipping this next stitch. I'm then going to 2 treble cluster in the next stitch. Okay, I'm then going to chain 1 and skip the next 2 stitches, and then 2 treble cluster in the next stitch. Okay, so that's the end of our 5th repeat. Then got a 2 treble cluster and a chain 1 and skip 2 stitches in there, then another 2 treble cluster, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then we're going to make a 2 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. So it's just yarn over once, in and pull up a loop, yarn over and through 2, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, yarn over and through 2. Again, we've got 3 loops on the hook and pull through all of them. We are then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 14 stitches. Okay, so that's 3, 13 and 14. Okay, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. Okay, so those 14 single crochets form the sort of middle of one of the sides. 2 double crochet cluster in the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 treble cluster in the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip 2 stitches. Oops, sorry. Skip 2 stitches and then we are going to 2 treble cluster in the next stitch, and then we've got another little mini repeat which is going to match to this other side here. So we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch and 2 treble cluster in the next stitch, and we are going to do that 5 times. Oops. Okay, so chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 treble cluster in the next stitch. 5 times in total. Okay, so that is our full side. So we've got the chain 2 where we've put our marker. We've then got 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 2 treble cluster, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, 2 treble cluster, chain 1, skip a stitch, 2 double crochet cluster, 14 single crochet, another chain 1, 2 double crochet cluster, and then treble, chain 1 with a skip 2, another 2 treble cluster, and then 5 times 2 treble cluster, sorry, chain 1, skip a stitch, 2 treble cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, so that takes us over to our next corner where we're going to chain 2, pop a marker in, and remember you're not skipping a stitch, you're going straight into the next stitch there to start your next side. Okay, so go ahead and do that 4 times in total, and you are going to join to your beginning 2 treble cluster with a slip stitch. Okay, remember as you finish each round, double check your stitch counts against the pattern to make sure that everything is okay, because we don't want to have to be undoing work and all that sort of thing. Okay, so this is where are we at? Round 24. Slip stitch into the chain 2 corner space, and then we're going to make a beginning 2 treble cluster. Okay, so chain 3, yarn over twice, into the space, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2, and where you've made a chain start you've only got 2 loops on your hook, so it's yarn over and through 2. Okay, that's our beginning 2 treble cluster. We are now going to chain 1, make another 2 treble cluster, let's take that marker out of the way. We're then going to chain 2, which is our corner space again, and we are then going to 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster. So this is all into the chain 2 corner space. So we are going to have 1 chain 2 corner space, and each side of that we're going to have 2 treble clusters and a chain 1 space in between them. Okay, so in that corner you've got 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster, chain 2, 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster. So 4 clusters, 2 chain 1 spaces, 1 chain 2 space. Okay, so that's each corner, but you're going to make the same as that. Okay, we're then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and 2 treble cluster into the chain 1 space, and we're going to do that 6 times. Okay, so chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the chain 1 space with a 2 treble cluster 6 times. Okay. Okay, so the 6th 2 treble cluster will fall above the space where we skipped 2 stitches last time. We're then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and 2 double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space twice. Okay, so we've got a chain 1 space there between the double crochet cluster and that first single. Okay, once you've made this second double crochet cluster, do not chain 1. Okay, just finish the cluster by yarn over and draw through those 3 loops. We're then going to skip the next stitch, which is this first single crochet. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, and we're then going to single crochet in 10. Oops. It's 3, 9 and 10. Okay, we've got 2 single crochets left. I'm going to make a half double crochet in the next one, and we're then going to skip that last single crochet, and we are going to 2 double crochet cluster into the chain 1 space, chain 1, and skip the next stitch, and we're going to do that twice. Okay. And chain one. Okay, so we've got two double crochet clusters, and we are then going to 2 treble crochet cluster, chain one, and skip the next stitch. Oops. Okay, so it's 6 times. Okay, so that 6 times repeat brings us to the last chain one space before our corner. So we've then chain one to skip that last 2 treble cluster, and then in the corner 2 treble cluster, chain one, 2 treble cluster, chain two, 2 treble cluster, chain one, 2 treble cluster. Okay, so as we did at the beginning there, again use the pattern just to double check and make sure that everything is as it should be. But with your corners you will have 4 2 treble clusters, 2 chain 1 spaces, and 1 chain 2 space, which obviously is your corner space. Okay, so again use the pattern to double check your stitch counts per side to make sure that you've got everything as it should be. Once you are finished, once you've repeated this 4 times, you've already made that first corner, so you're going to omit that first corner, join to your beginning 2 treble cluster with a slip stitch, and remember that is the actual stitch that you're going to work into, because you've got a chain 3 there that counts as a partial treble. So that loop on top, that's the top loop of your stitch to join into, because that next one there is your chain 1. Okay, so all the way round, again double check your stitch counts, make sure everything's correct, and I will see you for the next round. Round 25. Okay, we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, so that's the first chain 1 space of the corner group. Make a beginning 2 treble cluster. So again it's chain 3, yarn over twice into the same space, pull up and through 2 twice, and then through the final 2. Okay, chain 1, and we're going to skip the next stitch, and then our repeat starts in the corner with the same as we did before. So we've got a 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster, and 2, chain 2, and then again it's 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster. Okay, 2 treble cluster, chain 1, and another 2 treble cluster. Okay, you'll be a cluster expert by the time you finish this. Okay. Okay, we are then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a 2 treble cluster in the next chain 1 space 3 times. Okay, so that's 1, 2 and 3. Okay, we're then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a 2 double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space 6 times. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and there is number 6. Okay, so after your corner you've got treble cluster in the next chain 1, skip the next stitch, treble cluster in the next chain 1 space 1, 2, 3 times, then it's chain 1, skip the next stitch and 2 double crochet cluster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay. Okay, you're then going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch, so that's the last cluster that you are skipping. You are then going to half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So the first one goes into the half double crochet, okay, 2 and 3. You're then going to single crochet in 6. 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then half double crochet in the next 3. Okay, and the third half double crochet will fall into your half double crochet there from the previous round. Okay, and then we're going to sort of reverse what we've done here. So it's chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is the first cluster, and then 2 double crochet cluster 6 times. Okay, so 1, there's number 6, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 treble cluster in the next chain 1 space 3 times. Okay, so your corners are the same as the previous round. 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster, chain 2, mark your chain 2 space, and then 2 treble cluster, chain 1, 2 treble cluster, and then again you're doing a chain 1 and skip a stitch and working your clusters into your chain 1 spaces. So you've got 3 2 treble clusters, 6 2 double crochet clusters, then it's 3 half doubles, 6 single, 3 half double, and then reverse that, 6 2 double crochet clusters, 3 2 treble clusters with the chain 1 spaces in between. And again, check with your pattern to make sure that everything is correct and that all your stitch counts are right. Okay, so all the way around, so the 4 sides, and then again, remember when you join to your beginning 2 treble cluster, that is your top loop there. That's the chain 1. Okay, I will see you for the next round. Round 26. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and then front post double crochet around the same stitch. Okay, so that's this beginning 2 treble cluster. So all the way around both posts of the cluster and a front post double around there. Okay, double crochet in the next chain 1 space, front post double around the next stitch, and we're going to do that twice. Okay, so double crochet in the chain 1 space, front post double around the cluster, making sure that you are around both of the partial trebles that make up the cluster, so around the whole of the top of that stitch. Okay, then we start our repeat. So our corners are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Now, when you've got clear corner spaces, you don't need to use stitch markers, but I just like to because it keeps me on track of what I'm doing. Okay, so corner, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and we are then going to front post double around the next stitch and double crochet in the next chain 1 space 4 times. Okay, front post double, double. Okay, so that's 4 times. So our last double crochet comes in the chain 1 space before that last 2 treble cluster. Okay, we are then going to front post half double around the next stitch and half double crochet in the next chain 1 space 7 times. Okay, so front post half double, half double in the chain 1 space 7 times. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the last half double of that 7 times repeat falls in the chain 1 space between the 2 double crochet cluster and the first half double. Okay, you're going to half double crochet in the next 12 stitches and make sure you don't skip that first hidden one. Okay, it's very easy to skip a half double crochet after a chain space because it's tricky to see the top loops. Okay, let's just whiz across here. And let us double check that that is 12. Okay, so we've got the one that's in the chain space there, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so the last of those 12 falls in the last half double crochet there. Okay, and then we're going to reverse what we did on this side. So it's half double crochet in the chain 1 space, front post half double, and we're going to do that 7 times. Okay, so the 7th repeat ends around the first 2 treble cluster, and we are then going to double crochet in the next chain 1 space and front post double crochet around the next stitch. Oops, getting my yarn in a tangle. 4 times, and that will take us up to the corner again. Okay, so again, use the pattern to help you. Make sure you get the right number of repeats and that you've got the correct stitch counts on each side. And let's just do that last one. Okay, so each corner 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, then it's front post double, double in the chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then half doubles, front post and into the chain 1 7 times, 12 half doubles, making sure that you don't skip that first one there, then half double in the chain space, front post half double 7 times, takes us to there, and then double crochet, front post double 4 times, and that will bring you up to the end, ready to start your next corner. Okay, so all the way round to the beginning. If you need to, just to help yourself, pop a stitch marker in that first front post double. That's where you're going to join to, or make your invisible join over the top of that stitch, fasten off and secure your ends.